How's it going, everybody? Hopefully, everything's coming through all right. All right. So today's stream is going to be Hellblade. It's a game that I found that's kind of got a special place for me. Um, little told a little bit about my story about how I ended up here with Combat Tested Gaming, how I met Lynn. Um, so basically, when I got out of the military, things were pretty rough. Had a lot of issues with PTSD and other things going on. Um, And then I came across this game where you're playing as a character who suffers from psychosis and PTSD. And certain themes within the game I could relate to in a way that I didn't relate to another character before. And that kind of it struck a nerve in me, and it helped me to work through my own issues that I was going through at the time. And so when I decided to come up to play this game, I figured, I wanted to put it out in a way that would maybe help somebody else to relate to things, or see that they're not alone in dealing with these issues. Part of my struggle, uh, I I ended up in a very bad position, and I'm going to try to get through this without getting all crazy emotional or anything. But my issues led me to sitting in a parking lot of a hotel with a gun in my hands, waiting, ready to put it in my mouth and pull the trigger because I thought that was the only way that I could take care of my family at the time. And thankfully, I didn't become one of the 22 a day that we lose, which I think it's more than that. But uh, luckily for me, my now wife, she had walked out the door of the hotel room with my son in her arms, and I couldn't let them see that. So uh, I didn't even tell them what had gone on. My wife didn't know what had happened, and she didn't actually know until a couple weeks later when uh, the VFW had reached out to ask me how uh, the unmet needs program had helped me, what it meant to me. And I told the lady, hopefully you're sitting down because I've got a story to tell you that it's kind of heavy. After that story, the lady was in tears and she wanted to send out a camera crew to shoot a video with me for the VFW, which I was more than willing to help out because to me the VFW helped me in a way that meant more to me than anybody previously had helped me out. And so for me, it became a personal thing of I need to give back. So we did the video. Video went really well. It became a very top producing video for the VFW. And then they asked me to come speak at the national convention in 2019. And like this today, I back then spent about a week trying to write some type of speech because I was supposed to go up and speak in front of a very large crowd. It was the first time I've ever publicly spoken, and I couldn't write anything. No matter how hard I tried, the words just weren't there. So I walked up on the stage, and on the podium there, they had this folder like a binder, and it had the guy who introduced me. It had his little speech and how he introduced me right there, and I was like, oh cool, they got a bunch of stuff right here. Maybe they wrote something for me. I flipped a page. It's the guy's speech for the guy after me, and I was like, well, damn. Well, I guess I'm just gonna fire from the hip and see how it goes. Uh, and that speech, it went. I'm sure it could have been a lot better had I had been able to write something. But right after that speech came probably the most humbling moment in my 40 years of life. It took me about 30 minutes to walk from the stage out of the auditorium because people were coming out of their seats to come shake my hand and talk with me. But on my way out the door, this 92-year-old Marine Corps veteran stands up, grabs me in the tightest bear hug I'd ever felt in my life, and just starts bawling. And I didn't know what to do. I just held on to this guy, because he's just letting it all out. And all he said to me was, "Thank you. Your story, that was me, but I didn't get to tell anybody about it. Thank you for sharing what you did." And still to this day, That tears me up. Hearing that from a 92-year-old veteran of the Marine Corps who had been through Korea, he had been through Vietnam. This man is well decorated, and to hear him say that he was thanking me for telling my story because he didn't have the strength to tell his, he didn't have anybody to talk to. That hits hard, and that's kind of what led me to this today. That mindset of, there's a lot of veterans out there that need help, and a lot of guys that don't necessarily know who to turn to, who to talk to. Some of them think it's too much, or that it makes them less of a man. And I'll be the first one to tell you, don't be that guy. Reach out if you need help. There's always somebody that's willing to help. Uh, and I've said this multiple times in various forms of the different things I've done with the VFW, and every speech I've given, and every article I've done, every radio spot I've done. I tell everybody the same thing. When those chips are when those chips are down on the table and your back is against the wall and you think you've got nobody else, if nobody else tells you this, I'll be that guy that cares. That one person in the world has your back no matter what. You don't know me, you might never meet me, but it doesn't matter. I'll always be there to have your back. You can reach out on any social media that I have. You can find me anywhere. Reach out, if not to me, to somebody, because I'm not the only one out there that cares. And so, as long as you know that, I think things will be all right. But without further ado, I think we should probably get into this gameplay here. And I guess before we get to that point, I should probably let you know that there are going to be a lot of things in here that may cause some issues for people. Like I said, the character suffers from psychosis, so if you have a headset, and I don't know if it'll pick up through Twitch or not, but as you walk through this game, there are different voices that tell you different things. Sometimes they try and lie to you, sometimes they're laughing at you, and it really does depict the way that some people suffer with PTSD, where that inner demon is constantly hounding you, telling you you're doing something wrong, turn around, it's not worth it, you're not good enough, things like that. And so, but they hit you in this game. It's a completely immersible game, so it'll hit you from different angles inside of your headset. Sometimes you'll hear it behind you, sometimes in front of you, sometimes off to the side. It's all around. It's a completely immersible game, and it really puts you in the mindset of somebody suffering from psychosis and PTSD. And throughout the process of the game, there's going to be some other things that come up, and we'll talk about it a little bit as we're going through it. But yeah, it gets intense at times. The game is fun overall, and I've played it a few times, but I still haven't unlocked everything on it. So there's always something new to learn every time I've played it. There's a different theme or different thing that I learn, and it's really interesting. But I guess we'll go ahead and jump into it, and we'll see how it goes. Hopefully, chat will be up and running, and everything will be good. Not sure why my game screen is not picking up here. Let's see if I can't fix this. There we go. There we go. Alright, so like I said, this is Hellblade, Senua Sacrifice. And we're going to jump into it and see how we do. Get my chat up and running here so I can actually see you guys while I'm playing. Give me one more second here. Alright, let's get to it.
Hello. Who are you?
I apologize. I see that my ticker is not working right across the bottom of my screen here. And I want to make sure that it is working. There we go. Alright, back to the game. Sorry about that.
Doesn't matter. Welcome. You're safe with me. I'll be right here, nice and close so I can speak without alerting the others. Let me tell you about Senua. Now, her story has already come to an end, but now it begins anew.
What's happening? It's breathing. Dead. It's breathing. It's breathing. He knows she's getting closer. He can feel her coming closer. She's getting closer. They're watching. They're watching. They're watching. They're watching.
This is a journey deep into darkness.
They're watching.
There'll be no more stories after this one.
What is she doing? Why is she doing this? They're watching. Why isn't she coming? She's doing this for him. She wants to rescue him. He's already doing it.
Feel you coming. Quiet. Oh, how rude of me. I never told you of the others. You hear them too, right? They've been around ever since the tragedy. Well, that's not quite true. Some are old, some are new, but they've changed. I think the darkness changed them, just like it changed her.
Can you see them? Over there. Why isn't she looking? Why aren't you looking? It's in Hellblade.
Look, up ahead. You see it too?
You promised you came.
Yes. It is real after all. She's finally arrived in the land of mist and fog. The place the Northmen call Hell.
Turn back. Go back. Go back. It's not safe.
Go back, go back, go back, go
It's
back.
not safe.
It's them. They're here.
Can you see them? I can see it.
Look around and you'll see them. The drowned, the sick, the slain. Here they lie, rotting in the fields and rivers of hell. But the dead don't always lie still here.
You see them?
This is not a place of rest.
You can't do this. Go back. Go back. They're going to do that to you. Can you see them? Can you see them? They're going to do that to you.
They're watching.
Stop. Can you feel them watching?
They're watching her.
They're watching her. You're so close to the darkness. Go back. Can you feel it?
What is she thinking? She's afraid. Wouldn't you be? You'd think she would get used to it by now after so many years. But the darkness, it just builds onto itself, growing stronger, towering over her. You might try and ignore it, turn away. But it's always there, just out of sight, where you're most vulnerable. It's like it knows that just enough light is all you need to see its suffocating power.
They can feel you.
You might think she's brave to go on this journey on her own, but it isn't bravery that drives her. Bravery only means something to those afraid of death. Senua's fear runs far, far deeper. What is she looking at? What is she leaving behind? I know what she's thinking. I hear her thoughts. It's not too late to get into the boat and go back. No one will judge her. No one will ever know. Oh, she heard us. There's no going back.
You can't do it.
Senua pushes away a world that conspired to cause so much suffering. There's nothing to go back to, and worse to look forward to. Why don't you join us? Maybe you too have a part to play in this story.
Alright, so that's the start, getting into the first part of the gameplay. A little fun tidbit about this character that you play. The lady who is portrayed here on screen was part of the development team for the game, but had zero acting ability whatsoever. She never had any acting training or anything like that. They needed her to stand in for the movements of the character. So she stood in for some of the movements, and then because of her emotional reactions and the way her face portrayed certain things, they just kept her as the face of Senua, which I thought was pretty cool.
You have to take a closer look to see.
Why isn't she?
Do not forget
needs
my
to focus
story,
now.
Senua.
She needs to use her eyes.
Because your darkness comes from hell, and your fate lies there. They say the burning of a corpse will take you straight to Hela's gate, but gods and the living will follow this path. You must leave the Isles of Orkney across the eastern sea and find a road that leads north and down through deep, dark valleys. After 9 nights of riding, you will follow a great river and will find a bridge covered in gold. The path to Helheim goes from there, across the river of knives that flows from the dark world of Niflheim.
Hear the voices.
Darkness is coming. Yearns for life. Hungers for
essentially the
Land of mist
gateway
and
to
fog.
hell for her. That's where she's trying to get
Awful was
to.
right.
She's trying to go into hell to
What was it he said?
rescue her lover. His
The
spirit.
river of knives across which lies the halls of hell. The place they call Helheim.
He's lost. He's lost.
Where are you? I hear you.
He's there, you know it.
There's no doubt about
He's
it.
lost.
The source of the darkness is in Helheim,
You'll never find him.
They're called
and the goddess Hela holds his soul there. Coming. Her dear beloved, Dillian.
What is she doing? Why is she doing this?
Why doesn't she turn back?
She's doing this for him. She wants to rescue him.
He's already dead.
He's dead. By his soul lost in Helheim. His soul still lives. She needs to save his soul.
She wants his soul to be at
The bridge to Helheim.
Where are they?
I forget its name.
He's already dead.
She forgets too.
Nothing she can do.
But she does remember that only the dead may cross it. That part wasn't so easy to forget. The old fool said there was a hidden path up to it. Let's see, shall we?
The Northmen speak of 9 worlds. The world of men they call Midgard. Sky gods dwell in Asgard. The gods of earth, harvest, wind, and sea dwell in Vanaheim. The good elves dwell in Alfheim. The evil ones dwell in Svartalfheim. The mountain giants dwell in Jotunheim. The fire giants dwell in Muspelheim. Niflheim is the world of ice and darkness. Only the dead dwell in Helheim, and that is where you must travel.
Climb. She looks down. Don't look down. That's it. That's the way. Climb up there.
You don't know where you're going.
Where you are? Where are we?
What's she waiting for? Why did she do that?
She shouldn't have done it.
She can't go back now.
No, this is it. The hidden path.
It's not good for her. It's going to hurt you.
It's dangerous.
Don't kill me. I'm not one of them.
Don't listen.
I was just hiding. I find I live longer
Yeah, the
that
graphics are
way.
really crazy. It's definitely
Never let the
time.
bastards catch me again. Never!
Thank you for coming in, Milkman. I appreciate it.
Who are you?
It's just a memory.
Drew? Is that you?
How do you now?
For my tales of the Northmen, they call me Druth. A liar.
He's lost.
An old fool. Druth is my truth.
It's good to see you again. You kept your vow.
To guide you in this life and the next. I will tell you my stories of hell, if I may walk with you.
Tell me your stories again, old friend.
I'm listening.
The runes seal the gates to hell. Focus your inner eye, and you too will see what's hidden in plain sight.
I can see one.
Hold it in your mind's eye. Find one like it to open the gate.
Why can't she focus? Take a closer look.
It's there. Look towards the gate, and the gate will open.
The gate is open. Go through the gate.
Go through it. It's dangerous.
It worked! What's behind the gate?
Where will it take you?
It's not safe.
I spent 6 years enslaved in hell, but I watched the Northmen, learnt their ways.
I know you did.
You listened when everyone else laughed. My people paid the heavy price. Carry my stories with you, and together we will make the Northmen feel our fury.
Later on in the game, as you're crossing these beams like this, she'll lose her balance.
Another voice joins
Fall
us.
before you die.
She once tried to make them go away.
It's interesting.
Pretend they weren't real.
One more part that I haven't told you guys
What
yet
is
about
that?
the game. It'll come
But
soon.
we are always here.
I'll talk you through it.
I guess
It
it's the
explains
same
it in the game,
time.
but it's a
You can
very
stand on the
unique
edge,
feature to this
pretend it's
game.
going to be okay.
There she goes. She
But
starts
you
to
know
stumble.
that death is near, waiting for you to make that little slip. You can't just wish things away.
The world of the dead is ruled by the giantess, Hela, daughter of Loki. The gods feared her bloodline, bad on her mother's side and yet much worse on her father's. So, as a child, the All-Father cast her down into Helheim and gave her power over those who die of sickness, age, hardship, and self-slaughter. In all of the 9 worlds, only Hela can resurrect the dead. To Hela, your Dillion was sacrificed, and with her you must bargain.
Here's where it starts to get a little bit more interesting.
Stay back. Look at it. You have to open it.
The gate to Helheim divides the living from the dead. Is that the face of Hela herself? The half-rotten goddess that rules over Helheim. Whatever horrors lie behind that door,
She can do it.
she must find him.
You can do this. Come on.
Shh. Someone's here.
Essentially, right now, I have to go through this and die.
So we
The last part. The last part. The secret of the game I haven't told you about yet.
Don't give up. Don't. You did this.
A vision of what's to come. Poor Senua. The darkness does not bargain. It does not reason. It is rot. And now it has taken hold. It will spread towards her head, the seat of the soul, until there is nothing left of her. All of her suffering will have been for nothing. It's just a matter of time.
So what that is basically telling you is the rot on her arm. If you saw the darkness that was creeping up her arm, every time you die in the game, it creeps up a little bit further towards your head. Once it reaches your head, you lose the entire game. Your progress has to start all the way back at the beginning, and you have to progress through the psychosis all over again, which to me was insanely crazy, because once I saw that, I was like, oh crap. So as I'm playing the game for the first time, going through it, I'm trying to figure out how to not die, because I don't want to have to start over going through this game. To me, that was a really cool twist of things, especially since it was helping me work through my own PTSD, because it's a process, right? And you're going to stumble and fall along the way, and every time you fall, you got to pick yourself back up and keep working forward again. Sometimes you're going to get knocked all the way back to the beginning, and that's the hard time. That's the hard part. That's the time when a lot of people just want to give up and say this is too much. And we've always got to keep progressing and fighting through that anyway to get to the light at the end of the tunnel. So that part of the game really, really resonated deep with me, and it was a large part of the reason why I wanted to do this playthrough as well.
The hardest battles are fought in the mind. That is what Dillian taught her. With every defeat, the dark rot will grow, and soon it will take her soul. But for now, at least, she still has control of her mind. And she will fulfill her vow, whatever the cost.
He's not breathing.
Listen to me, Senua. The goddess Hela lies behind the gate to Helheim. To open the gate, you must first face the gods that guard it. The god of fire, Surt, and the god of illusion, Valravan. Spill their blood to open the gate to Helheim and enter the land of the dead.
So
To his side.
there's another little detail about the game that
Why can't she?
you'll find interesting. if you notice small details anyway. Throughout the game, you'll notice that her eyes will change colors, and part of that is to signify the different depths of her psychosis, more or less like the personalities, the different types of her personalities. Her eyes are naturally blue. Some shots they'll be green, some shots they'll be a darker color. It's just interesting little fine touches to the game that I thought were really cool.
She needs to challenge the gods.
She has to fight 2 gods first.
2 gods?
2 gates.
Which will she choose first?
One of them will kill her, I know.
The Northmen say that in the beginning there was nothing but darkness. Bitter cold to the north, fiery hot to the south. They say the cold formed ice, which melted from the sparks from the south. The power of the darkness gave life to the dripping ice, and the first giant was born, and was named Ymir. The ice continued to drip, and the power of the void gave life to it, and it became a cow, whose milk fed the giant. That's right, a cow. Bet you weren't expecting that.
Alright. So, illusion, fire. Guess we'll go with fire.
Surt, the fire giant, has answered. He comes from a land older than mankind, and the Northmen call upon his flaming sword to raze their enemies to the ground. Find him, Senua, and spill his blood.
She found the wretched old fool on her way back from the wilds. An outcast, was badly burnt all over. She took pity on him, for he was not long for this world. Like her, who spoke of his own darkness, the Northmen.
Senua, we each walk these lands gazing towards different horizons, some of us further than others. Your father cannot see what you see, but there is nothing wrong with seeing the world the way you do.
overall, super cool. Combat is it gets difficult at times, but it's a really cool game.
Sweet, sickly stench of burning human flesh. And I still hear their cries carried in the wind. You hear them too, Senua?
Yes, I heard their screams, and I still hear them now.
Follow the screams. Are they screaming?
Gotta find the right spot for it. The biggest problem with this game is that sometimes it'll put you in the right spot, and sometimes it won't.
You can hear the rooms. The rooms. It's the secret. I can't see it.
The path to Hellham is sealed to the living, but you already walk amongst the dead. Look towards the gate, and you will see that it has opened.
So another thing I find kind of interesting to the game is the demons. They pop up every so often. You gotta fight them. The first time I played through it, I was trying to figure out, is she imagining it, or are these real people as she's walking through life that pop up, and she's just cutting down random people in the world? And like, it's hard to tell sometimes, like what's true, what's real, and what's not in the game, which is part of the psychosis part. Because each time she's killing these guys, they just kind of fade off and disappear, right? So they're essentially demons in her mind that she's having to fight through, but they have the ability to kill her. So it's a cool little twist of the way they do the story.
When they first came to my lands, I knew enough of their tongue to beg for mercy, and they took me as a slave. I wish now that they had slaughtered me like the others. I rode their storm of fire, death, and slavery to many lands. This darkness you speak of, I know it well.
And I'm still here to fight it.
Don't give up. Don't give up. End it. She will die.
only a sacrifice will stoke the fires of Muspel and let the dead walk through.
Find the fire, Senua, to follow the path to Surt.
Alright. So now we get to find new depths to her mental issues.
It's there. Focus.
Hell will not give you the answers you want. But you mustn't look away from the horrors it does offer. Because you cannot overcome suffering if you refuse to look at it.
What's happening? Where's the fire gone? Where's it gone?
The fire's disappeared.
It was everywhere.
The pyre.
Surt.
Surt is through there.
He's waiting for her. You can't get through. How will she get through?
She'll need to find another way.
Truth said, find your own path.
There's always another way.
There's always a way.
Find your own way.
You just have to find it. He's waiting for you.
It was never going to be that easy.
He's waiting. Surt
Is waiting. He can't get through that
find
way.
him.
The pyre.
Sorry, guys. Alright, sorry about that. Let's see, where should we go?
The Northmen tell this story. Before the earth was created, there was a world called Muspel. Because it was in the south, it was bright and hot, flaming, burning. Sparks that flew out from Muspel became the stars. Other sparks melted ice in the frozen world of Niflheim, creating the body of the first giant, Ymir. Muspel is one of the 9 worlds, and is now the land of the fire giants. And people from elsewhere cannot endure a journey there.
So these little runes that I find throughout the world, they give you a sub-story, more of the background of the Viking lore and mythology that goes on. But it also ties in a little bit more history, I guess, behind Senua, why she's doing what she's doing. Makes it make more sense.
There's a gate.
She needs to find it.
Another fire sacrifice.
Another fire
Another
sacrifice.
sacrifice.
Find the fire, Senua, to follow the path to Surt.
So one of the interesting things that it hasn't really told you about in the game so far is these
It's
little
too
fire
far.
gates.
She'll never find
If
it.
you don't know
She'll
the
never
right
make
path
that
to get
way.
back,
She
you end up
needs to
choking in
remember
the
the way
smoke.
back.
What happens when she finds it?
That rot
Everything
creeps up
will
towards your
burn.
brain, so
Concentrate. Concentrate
you really
on where
gotta
you're going. She needs
figure
to
out
remember
and
the
pay
path.
attention to where you're
Everything
at.
will burn, then how will she find the way back?
She won't. She won't be able to tell.
It definitely changes your like it changes throughout it. Let's tune this down a little bit. Hopefully that'll be a little bit better. If it's too quiet, let me know.
The Northmen say that the defender of Muspel is called Surt, the foremost of the fire giants. His name means the Black One, because he is like something burnt. The Northmen believe that he sits at the border of Muspel with his flaming sword, and at the end of the world he will leave his post. He will travel to Asgard and Midgard, waging war against all the gods. He will be victorious, and then burn the whole world with fire.
The sound coming through better now, Joe Master.
The Northmen made fire sacrifices, burning slaves like me to reveal the path to Surt.
I searched for meaning in their suffering, in their eyes. But they just screamed like helpless
I don't
pigs.
think I can make myself louder, unfortunately. I think we maxed out the volume on my end game. I guess maybe I can move the mic closer, but maybe that'll help.
Do your gods answer your prayers, Senua? I asked the gods for mercy, all of them, even theirs. None answered. In the end, I set myself free. Defy the gods, Senua! Find your own path, like I find mine!
My gods abandoned me!
There, maybe that'll help a little bit better. Let's go. Yeah, we'll leave it right there. If I turn it down too much, it's gonna distort the voices and other issues. Other things that come into the game, and I want to be able to maximize that, give everybody the full effect.
Find the fire, Senua, to follow the path to Surt.
The Northmen of Hell worship the Devourers, insatiable gods of darkness. I come from Erin, Senua, where I once followed my own gods, the Tuatha De Danann.
Why did you abandon your gods?
Senua, I was a man of knowledge, not a warrior. To survive, I did things. Bad things.
Like you, Senua. man I once was has died. And when that happens, even gods you worship can die with you.
Yeah, no, I've talked a little bit throughout the game. Different points. A lot of it just when I see certain things in the game that I want to explain, I'll talk. But a lot of it's just playthrough, as you can see. Thanks for letting me know. I will make sure I work on it for sure. But yeah.
You did this. Stop.
You've got her sword. Okay, let's go. Attack.
You say your world has collapsed. Good. Let it collapse, and have the courage to shed your tears. Raise your world to the ground!
My world is dead.
Only then, as with a newborn, will you see the world anew.
No, I see nothing now.
It's just that. You'll never.
Tell me truth. How did you escape your darkness?
Senua, once I found my purpose, I was no longer enslaved to the suffering I had to endure to reach it. Unclouded by fear, I could see it clearly in others. Even my captors
feared the fire of Surt. And so, during one raid, I took my chance and ran, knowing that they would not follow. The fool ran into the fire. They left me for dead. Maybe they were right to. But here I am. Free.
I'm glad I found you in the wilds. I wouldn't have made it without you.
Gotta remember where it is. There we go. Yeah. Imagine the first time playing through this and you're trying to find everything while listening to the story and trying not to die. It was intense the first time through. As I've played it a few times, I kind of know where a lot of the stuff is, but there's still a lot that, like I said, I haven't found everything in the game. So it's always something new to be found. No, it's right there. I see. Just temperamental at times. It doesn't want to do it always. So the game will tell you a little bit more of the story of her as you're going through, but essentially the start of this game doesn't really tell you too much. But she comes home to find that her husband, her lover, was killed brutally.
Senua,
And so
if I can survive the fire of Surt and escape my darkness, then so can you.
She takes the head, which is what's down here in the bottom left on her back here. That's her husband's head, and it's her belief that the soul lies in the head. So she journeys into hell to rescue his soul, put it back in the seat to save him from hell and give him a peaceful afterlife.
Run, Senua! Run! Through the fire! Keep running! Go on! Nothing will stop you! Run, Senua! Run! Run, Senua! Through the fire!
Now, you have to run now.
Don't. She's dying.
It's him.
So some of the deaths in the game that you suffer, you have no choice but to go through, which is another complication of the game, because every time you die, that rock grows further. But you have to die sometimes to get to more of the story.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. This darkness takes everything. Everyone.
Senua, are you sure you want to do this? We can fight this together, side by side. We always do.
This is my battle. I have to face it alone, away from you.
Where will you go?
I don't know.
For how long?
I don't know.
I believe in you. You know that. Just promise me that you will come back to me. I want you to say it. I want you to say it.
I will come back to you. I promise.
Come on.
Spill the blood of serpents and take his mark.
God of Fire.
I will cheer you from the underworld and forever be in your debt.
You destroyed everything, everyone, but not me. Fight me now.
She's so weak, she's so weak. They can see you're weak.
Search is getting stronger. Stop now. Stop it. The flame shields. You're strong. Watch out! Stop him now! What to do?
And just like that, she kills the fire god.
For every battle won, a greater battle takes its place. And so it goes. Until we fall. And in the end, we all fall. Even the gods have their time. Yet we still go on. Why?
I made a promise. And I will go to hell to keep
I
it.
die free, knowing you will carry my stories with you. I have fulfilled my quest.
Yes, you have.
When the darkness comes, I vow to guide you in this life and the next to fulfill yours.
Then I will see you in hell.
Be ready to face horror in the eye, as I have. To find your answers. Your quest.
So the first time playing through, one of the big things I took away from that scene right there was just that for every battle that we win, a bigger battle takes its place. And when you're going through different issues with PTSD, small victories might be big in the big long run of things, but for every victory there's another battle you have to face. And you've got to face bigger battles until eventually one of the two things wins. And as vets, I think the biggest thing for us is that we've got to make sure that we're the victor. We're the ones that come out on top. Because during our time in the military, through combat and everything else, that's what we did. And you know, they might not have always trained us and taught us how to turn that off, but you gotta retool it and refocus it to make sure that you still come out on top, even if it's an internal battle.
Truth was a troubled man, a scholar turned slave. They tortured him, took him with them on their raids, drove him to madness, spreading this new form of darkness to new worlds. To my world, Senua saw a deep connection form between the Northmen and the darkness. His tales of hell were true, then that was the source of it. She learned everything she could from him, until she too could see what he saw.
Hopefully so far in the stream everything is going alright and everybody is enjoying it. It's tough, you know, some of the topics aren't always easy, but I guess how we come out at the end is what matters. So we just went right? Yeah, okay. There we go. Again, as the ticker across the bottom shows, if you're having any issues or you need help, please reach out to that crisis line. There's always somebody manning the phones that will listen and help walk you through what you need to get walked through and put you in touch with the right resources if you need them. It's not a battle you have to do on your own. And for me, that was something that was hard.
Before?
The first question. You know, when I first got out, it was hard for me to accept that or see that.
Is shattered. You simply cease to be. Though it may not seem that way to others, you know when it is true. You can feel it. A stranger in your own body. An imposter. And nothing is the same ever again. Senua has died before. And she will do so again. You can be sure of that.
They've surrounded you. Hellblade?
She can't.
Why?
She's only done one test.
Just one.
She's only
test.
passed one test.
What's the other test? Is there another one?
Valravan, ancestor of the seers and master of ravens. He hunts his prey with his powers of illusion and feasts on their remains. Follow the path to Valravan and defeat him in battle to earn his mark. The gate to Helheim cannot be opened without it.
Alright. So going into this next part, it gives you a different take on the issues that she's dealing with mentally. So as you're going through this world, there's these little gates, little like areas like this tree right here in front of me, for example. If you walk through it one way, the world is one version of it. If you walk through it a different way, the world changes. And it's a distortion of the mind as you suffer from PTSD or mental health issues in general. Sometimes things aren't what you think they are, or you don't see them the way that they should be seen.
Ymir was a frost giant, a being of darkness, and all his sons and grandsons were dark after him. Of his daughters and granddaughters, some were monstrous, but others fair. But there was another who came from the ice. Buri. In shape, he was like a man, big and powerful. His son, Bor, took a fair giant to be his wife, and they had 3 sons. Odin was the eldest, and the Northmen hold him to be the foremost of the gods, the All-Father. Illusion hides the path to Valravan. Don't trust your eyes. Find another way to see the truth.
So like I said, the
What's that?
world will change around you as you're playing this game. You've got to go through it multiple ways sometimes until you find the right path.
She did it.
So let's see. You see this? This is one of those gates here. So if you notice, it changes. If you go through it this way,
Look, something's different.
it's not.
Can you see it?
She can't see it. Can't she see it?
It's funny. We all want to see behind the veil, don't we? But once we do, we mostly just close our eyes again and pretend what we saw was never really there.
And that is definitely the truth right there. Sometimes you want to see behind the veil. You want to see things for what they are. But then once you get that peek, you don't always like what you see, and you want to close your eyes and forget that you saw it. Sometimes it's harder to do than other times. It just depends on what it was, what trauma it was you dealt with.
However hard she tried, begged. This is the price she pays for seeing things differently. Because once you gaze into the relentless darkness, all that lurks within it can see you too.
down! Finish it! Finish it! Strike it! Don't let them get behind you! Keep them inside!
I gotta get out of here. Oh my god. So if he hits me again right here, I die, and that's it. The game's done.
Use your sword and arm focus. Use your strength. You can do it. You can do it. Don't let them surround you. Do it. You're close. Finish him.
The Northmen will not stop her. She will find what she's looking for.
Valravan's power of illusion comes from ravens. Align the ravens to break his magic seal.
Show me what you have seen, Truth.
Look how much it's changed. It's all different.
If y'all got any questions or anything, feel free to ask. I don't, as you can tell, I don't mind sharing.
Something's shifted. Something's happened. Something shifted. Can you feel it?
This part always sticks me for a good minute.
It's like crossing into another world that looks the same but feels different. An imposter world where the forest itself is watching.
Another gate. You know what to do. Stay back. You have to open it. It's not safe. Don't listen to them. Listen.
To break the seal, align the ravens with the mark of Valravan.
What does it mean?
Which ravens?
Where are they?
Can't you see them?
So, dead in there.
Line up the ravens.
Not there.
Line them up. He said line them up.
Valravan.
Challenge me!
He's gone. He disappeared. Where did he go? You lost him. Where is he? Where did he go? It's all your fault.
Valravan's song. Listen, focus, listen. You need to focus. Focus.
winter before the tragedy, she journeyed into the wilds of her native land, living off berries, roots and rabbits. It's not uncommon, you see. We call such a person a Gelt. Some, like Truth, become Gelt in search of penance. Others, like Senua, to purge a curse. Those who make it back are forever changed.
Stay out of it.
She can get up now. What's happening? She can get up now. How can she get out? It must be magic. Dark magic. A trick. Valravan tricking her. Valravan. How can she get out? Bait. It's him. Dark magic draws her closer. Valravan's magic. It's not him. He's helping her. It's not him. It's a trick. She's doing it on her own. He's not tricking her. It's magic. It's an illusion.
Fixed part of it, but I don't think I've done it all yet. We'll see in a minute here. Why is it not letting me move? There we go.
If you hear the soul of Valravan, follow it, and it will lead you to him. But be aware of his illusions. You can't always trust your eyes.
We picture fear, and we think of a shadow in the woods, a creature in the night. If only it were that simple. The worst kind comes without warning. Deep and primal signal from within. A reminder that just because you cannot see the threat, it doesn't mean that it's not already here.
Find a way, Senua. Go round. Find your own path. There's a different way.
The Northmen say that Odin and his brothers killed Ymir, and that the world of men was formed from his corpse. They made his bones into stone, and his flesh into earth, and his blood into the salt sea. They set his skull to be the bowl of the sky, with his brains for clouds. Odin and his brothers caught the sparks flying from Muspel and made them into stars. And to protect the new world from the giants, they used Ymir's great curving eyebrows as walls.
Do you know what it's like to leave everything behind? Your home, loved ones, to head deep into the wilds, perhaps never to return. Senua does. Because when darkness speaks, it changes everything, turning home into a foreign land and loved ones into strangers. Exile makes sense when you realize that you were never really home in the first place.
The song. Valravan's song. It's over here. It's over here.
Is that? It's over there. No, it's here. There's two.
Listen, focus. Listen.
It's magic. It's magic. It's an illusion. She's been in the forest like this before. This reminds her of somewhere.
The forest.
Where? Which forest? The forest in the wilds.
The wilds.
She left again. She went to the wilds a long time ago. Why did she go to the wilds?
She wanted to fight her own darkness. She thought she could beat her own darkness.
Did she beat her darkness?
No. It nearly killed her, but she tried.
Druth helped her.
If it wasn't for Druth, she'd be dead.
She can't beat her own darkness. She wanted to marry Dillian. She came to beat her own darkness and marry Dillian. But it didn't work.
She thought her curse would affect him.
She thought her curse would spread to him. She thought she'd bring the darkness to him too. She nearly died.
She thought the curse made her tainted.
Druth helped her.
this is the part that actually is probably one of the longer parts of the game because of how much distortion is in the game. Like, you've got to go different pathways. They all change, and if you don't get the right sequence, it makes it longer. You gotta keep going around and around until you figure it out. So I have an extra route. I don't remember what's back here, so let's go find that out.
The Northmen say that Odin is always in search of knowledge and wisdom and magic. There was a very wise being named Mimir, who guarded the waters of wisdom which flow from the roots of the world tree. Odin wished to drink from this spring, but he had to pay a price. So he gouged out his own eye as offering to Mimir. He drank from the well and traded one way of seeing for another.
Now I know why. Okay. So I open this pathway to get that door open. I have to go back through that gate that I went through originally, so that I can go through the door and come back around.
The ravens.
The ravens.
They've gone.
They've gone.
No.
Half of them have gone.
They've gone.
Some are still there.
But where?
Some are still there.
Are ravens helping? Or is it?
He's not helping.
It's a trick.
Quiet. I can't think.
Out in the wilds, in cold winter woods,
Where have they gone?
she no longer felt fit for this world. She almost gave in to the darkness. She remembered Dillian's words. She remembered her promise. She resolved to fight on and kill that which had become a part of her.
Longest part of this game, trying to figure out where you gotta go.
The Northmen say you must sacrifice in order to receive. They tell how the runes were revealed to Odin only in sacrifice. He hung himself from the world tree, and he stabbed himself with a spear, and he dedicated the sacrifice to himself. For 9 nights he hung on the tree without food or drink, and at last he saw the runes below him. He gave a cry, and gathered them in his mind and learnt them. Then he fell from the tree.
I don't know, like I said, I don't know if it's picking up the voices from different directions like it does in game. If it is, that stuff really messes with you.
The ravens. They've all gone. No.
There's still 3. There's 3.
There's 3.
Where have they gone?
Where have they gone?
She did it, but what does it mean?
Looking back, I was so naive to think she could banish it on her own. The further she saw into the darkness, the more she struggled to see anything at all. And the gloom, the smallest hints of shape, sound, or thought, grow in strength until they consumed her whole. Before she knew it,
The gate is open.
the darkness had her in its claws. There is no such thing as victory when it comes to the darkness. It's like it doesn't want to kill her. Yet, it will gnaw at her, biding its time. Only when she is at her weakest will it strike to kill. Will she find Dillian before her time comes?
So the the storyteller of this all. We'll give those little tidbits like that, and for me it relates back, like I said, to the PTSD, other stuff, and the fact that, you know, like, the darkness wins sometimes. Sometimes those demons will beat you out, and we gotta try and make sure that that doesn't happen as much as we can. But everybody's battle's different, so you can't really say one way or the other who's gonna win or who's gonna lose, who's right or who's wrong. That's a battle we each gotta face within ourselves.
Overcome Valravan's final illusion to face him in his keep. I know you can do it, Senua. You have the sight.
We both see the darkness. We can fight it together. Speak to me, Druth. Tell me a story.
Senua, listen. I will tell you the tale of a man called Findan. The Northmen captured Findan's sister, and his father sent him to pay for her release. But they took his gold, put him in chains, and held him for a day and a night without food or water. Then they released him. I don't know why. Upon his return, his father's enemies in Erin set fire to his home. His father burnt to death, and his brother was killed. But he escaped with sorrow in his heart. His father's enemies offered redress for his loss and invited him to a feast. It was at a hall near the sea. But when he went there, they betrayed him to the Northmen, who enslaved him.
Nope, I didn't want to go down
took
there
him to
yet.
hell. 6 years later, his slave masters landed on the shores of Orkney, burning all before them. And into that fire, Findan made his escape. What was Findan burnt away that day. But from the flames, a new man stepped forward, and Druth was born. Druth. The man that I am now. And though Findan never set eyes on his dear sister again, I, Druth, have found you, Senua.
I wish you could have seen my home before these dark times.
broken. The gate is open. It's open. She did.
Yeah. The balance is,
It's coming back for me.
it was hard the first time I tried it.
I'm still here. Are you too? Where are we? I remember. It didn't end well in the wilds. It never does. You think you can overcome the darkness, make sense of it, and once relief settles in.
So this scene right here, she's kind of paralyzed in the darkness. There's this demon is attacking her, and she's kind of helpless at the moment. And at times, with when I was dealing with it, it would be like this added weight that just came from nowhere, and it was hard for me to figure my way out of things. And I kind of related to this scene. You'll see it here in a moment. That sometimes you gotta see it from a different way, from a different perspective, to fully be able to find your way out. And sometimes you get so focused in your own despair, your own issues, you're so one-tracked on things that you don't pay attention to the bigger picture sometimes, or you don't see those other ways, those alternate ways out. And sometimes it just takes one person to point that out, that, if you look at it this way, maybe it'll be different for you. Sometimes it helps, sometimes it doesn't.
Strikes out of nowhere, throwing you helplessly back into the maelstrom, drowning the mind in fear, deeper, deeper, dragging you down so far into the void that maybe this time there is no coming back. But there, in the darkness,
Senua,
and she remembered what he told her.
hear me. Reach out to me. Senua, take my iron mirror. Look into it, for it is a window into the underworld. Within, you will see the face of the darkness that you fear. And if you focus, like I have taught you to, you will also see that as much as the darkness has you trapped within its veil, it too is trapped within yours. Focus. Focus! Focus!
I see you! I see you now! You led me to the wilds! You trapped me there!
Stop them!
Don't let them surround you.
Don't let them get behind you.
We can anticipate.
End it now. This is nearly the end.
And I think I just died.
Get up quick. She's hurt. She won't make it up with you. Watch out!
She's injured! She can see
nearly there.
Behind you! You can do it! You're close! They're winning! It's a better fight! They're coming for you! Take him down! Behind you! He's too fast. You've finished him. Focus! Focus now! Defend yourself. But not this time!
The mark of Valravan, one of the keys to the gate to Helheim. Hold it in your mind's eye.
With every battle, the darkness grows stronger. Every victory bringing her closer to defeat. Unfair, isn't it? In those dark winter nights in the wilds, there were times when she considered letting go.
So I don't know if you understood what they were talking about there. Every time she beats one of these things, a little bit of her dies a little bit more, and the rock grows a little bit closer. But it's an internal battle that you don't see. You know, when you're fighting demons like this, you lose a part of you along the way, but you gain new parts as well. You gain new abilities, new ways to see things, and new tools to use to move through your life. And sometimes you don't see the brightness in that. You know, you only see the struggle. You only see the hard times. That was something when I was playing through this the first time that was interesting for me to learn.
If it weren't for Druth, a chance encounter in the wilds, she would not have heard his stories of the Northmen. And she would not have this chance to find Dillion's soul.
I'm coming. I still hear you.
Notice that her eyes are a different color there than they normally are. I'm going the wrong way, but we'll see. Let's go back. Yep, I was going the wrong way.
When she was younger, she would lay in the grass and stare at the clouds. And there she saw them. Elusive. Shifting faces. After a while, she could see the faces everywhere.
So I actually got through it a little bit faster than I thought I was going
Mountains. Caves.
Because we're about halfway done with the game now. The second half gets it's different, so I wanted to separate the two, kind of give people a little bit of a break, and
I wonder.
I guess kind of drive up more intrigue into the finishing, the end of the game.
They're there. If you look for them.
So.
Mother?
Senua, you have the sight. Just like I do. Once you can see into the underworld. The underworld and all the souls within it will see you. Don't be afraid when they speak to you. I will always be here to guide you.
Did you see her? That was her mother, Galina. She was a priestess, a healer. She taught Senua to see the weave that binds the world together. And it was beautiful. It was a time before the darkness. But when it did come, it first came for her mother. Senua still sees her face from time to time, hidden in the world. Like she's still watching over her. She misses her so much.
Come on now. This game will trip you up on like this tiniest little rock if you're not careful. It makes it hard to maneuver.
With the mark of Valravan and the mark of Surt, you may cross the bridge over the River of Knives to Helheim.
Why is she waiting?
She
Open the
has
gate.
to open the
No,
gate.
don't. It's dangerous. It's dangerous. Don't open the gate.
No,
Don't.
she's done it.
So this segues into part 2 of the game. Now I'm going to do this little cutscene here, but the second I get the chance to actually play again, I'll come back to it.
The dark. Only the dead may cross.
Only the dead may cross
Only
into
the
hell.
dead may cross.
Truth? Anyone?
There is no one here but me.
Not you.
Did you think that I would let you go? That you lost me back in the wilds? I will never let you go. You can't get rid of me.
And notice that this is the darkness talking to her, because it'll be revealed later on just how deep her trauma goes with who the darkness is.
I am your shadow. And I will be watching when you draw your last dying gasp.
I'm not ready to die.
You will be when you see what they did to your dear beloved. searched for control. A way to pull through. When you were in love, you left him in tears to smother your furies and banish your fears. But in darkness they came. Through stormy black seas they raided these shores. Do you still hear his screams? And now that you're home, he's so far away. They've taken his soul. To these gods you cannot pray. They can break you, but not your promise. Even death won't keep you apart. Through his darkness you will find him. In your sword still beats a heart. He fought for love unspoilt by your darkness within. You fought for your dreams. Now there's no way to win. In that.
So imagine you have this sight, these visions, and you, in this time, in your beliefs, you go into the wilds, right, to try and suppress this darkness, this veil that you can see through. And when you get back, you find all that you've loved is murdered and desecrated like that. Like, to go through this game and from her perspective to come back to that and see that the one person you love the most in the world has just been tortured and brutally killed. It would break you on a level that is hard to understand, and at least to normal people. But those of us that have been to hell and back, been through war, been through those tough times with those that we care about and love, and we've suffered those losses and we've battled those demons, we can understand it on a different level. And so it's another reason with this game why I think it resonated with me, because it's a battle, it's a story about loss and finding your way through that loss, through the trauma, through the hurt, and finding peace. And so going through this story, everything kind of relates back, and the things that she's going through at the time, I was going through very similar issues. So it's easy to relate to something like that.
Head of his corpse lies the seat of his soul. So you must carry his vessel to bring him back home.
Where?
You did this! No!
They can break you, but not your promise. Even death won't keep you apart. Through this darkness you will find him. In your sword still beats a heart.
So the screaming at the end and hearing all the voices flood into her mind, that's kind of well, with PTSD, kind of how things happen, you know. You start to doubt yourself, second guess what you believe to be true or what you know to be true. You start to think that you're worthless, you're hopeless, nothing you do is good enough. And a lot of times things couldn't be further from the truth, because you do matter and you do have a purpose. And while sometimes things that you do might not be perfect, or they might not be the best option or best decision choices you can make, it doesn't make them any less important. It doesn't make you any less important. And you got to remember that even when you're in those tough times, you existing matters to somebody. And if you cut your life short, you might not be able to make a difference to one person in the world that needs it. Uh, when I first started my journey through speaking with the VFW, it was for me, getting my story out and talking to people. It was for me to like therapy, right? But when I did that speech and I walked through that room and that 92-year-old vet grabbed a hold of me, that's when I kind of realized that you can make a difference to somebody. You can matter more to one person than you could ever imagine possible. And if I would have cut my life short, their life might not have been the same. They might not have seen that hope. Might not have been a difference. Now, granted, he's a 92-year-old veteran, and he's seen way more than I could have ever imagined. But he didn't ever have the opportunity to share his story. Didn't know how to. But for the younger generations, those people, there's people I pass out on the street that are going through their own stuff, and in my daily job, I work for the post office, so I'm a letter carrier. There's a homeless guy in my town that I stopped one time. I sat down and had lunch with him, just listened to his story. And every day I see him now, he thanks me for taking the time to let him know that he matters, that he's not just invisible to the world. And that's kind of deep. It's pretty heavy. He goes through his day thinking that he's nobody and nothing, that he's invisible to the world. And all he wanted was for somebody to listen to his story. And for me to take 5 minutes out of my time to have lunch with that guy made the world to him. And now I see him, and he goes through his own struggles, but he's on the path, on the right path. He's doing the right things. He's still homeless, but he's working to get a job. I've seen him with applications walking into places. So he's doing things that he wasn't doing before, and he tried to contribute that to me, and I told him, no, it's not me. I might have listened to your story, but all it did was awaken the drive in you and showed you that you still matter. That you still have a purpose. And so the biggest take for me out of this game and out of this story that she goes through is that don't ever hide your own story. Don't be afraid to share it. Don't be afraid to talk to people about the things you deal with, because somebody else might be going through the same things, and what you say and your take on things might make a difference to them in a way that changes their life forever. And it's kind of big when you really think about it, because something as insignificant as taking 5 minutes out of your day to listen to somebody else's story, even if you're going through your own stuff, just to sit there and hear what they're going through, it might matter to them more than you could ever possibly dream. Something you say and how you handled something might make a difference so impactful that it turns somebody's life around and changes them down to the core. And that's something that I didn't really think about until I was given the opportunity to speak and share my story. And the more that I've done it, it doesn't get any easier. And there's a lot of things that I'm still shameful for about it. But I share my story in the hopes that it'll make a difference to somebody, that somebody listening will realize that they're not alone. And that's really, the most important part of things, is that we've got to make sure we're there for our brothers and sisters, and be a part of the world, because every little thing you do, like the butterfly effect, one small ripple on one side of the world turns into a tsunami on the other side of the world. So your one story might be a little ripple in the water, but 5 or 6 people down, it's bigger. 20, 30 people down, it's even bigger. And eventually it becomes a tsunami, and it changes the world. And that's really what it's about. It's making sure that we make a difference to people.
The darkness touched you. Everyone could see it in the hollows of your eyes. A gaze averted from life. You ran from it but brought it nearer. Led it to him. An endless suffering worse than death. And you wanted to surrender. Abandon and to find peace with the gods. No. The darkness won't allow it. So you will walk into the lair of the beast. Look it in the eye, and you will go to war. This is your mission. This is your quest. There is nothing else left.
Alright. So there you have it. That's the first half of the game. I think I'm going to call an end to it here. And I'll pick up next week on Wednesday for the final half of it. Next week should start probably about the same time. About 4 to 4:30-ish. And hopefully it'll run about the same time. Might be a little more, a little less, just depends on how the gameplay plays out. But hopefully everybody enjoyed, and hopefully you all got something out of it. Maybe you got a chance to see things from a different perspective. Yeah, I don't know what else to say, just that no matter how hard things get, just remember that if nobody else tells you, I care. You matter to me. And that's all it takes, is one person for you to matter to make a difference in the world sometimes. When you think that you got nothing left, knowing that you matter to somebody is sometimes enough to stop you from making the worst decision of your life. I've lost a lot of brothers and sisters to suicide, to combat, to illnesses related to combat. And it never gets any easier. But my goal is to hopefully stop one person and make that one difference in one life. Because saving one person can change the world in a way that I won't ever see or ever know. But if I can save one person, my life meant something. And that's kind of... That's a lot. It's a lot to take in, a lot to put on anybody's shoulders. But that's kind of the point. It's kind of why we're here. So hopefully everybody had a good time. And I will see y'all next week.